majestically swim around.
Check, 1, 2. All right, so everybody, welcome to episode 6 of the Parlor here. I'm super excited to have on tonight a good friend of mine, DJ David S. David, can you hear me, man? Off mute. All good to go, man.
All right, cool. What up?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, dude. We're super excited to have you here. So we're starting up this new channel called The Parlor, where myself and Chris Lead are interviewing different DJs, industry people, not just DJ specific, but nightlife all over the place. And your name came up, and we wanted to just have you on, man. So we're just gonna, kick it on for like 30 minutes, just around some industry talk. So how you doing? All right?
I'm doing well. How are you in the midst of all this chaos?
Hey, man, we're keeping it super positive here. I'm just taking the time now to, network with guys like yourself, and just, I think, spread positivity and just get the word out there and have people like yourself come on, talk to us, and just, make it fun, make the best of a situation,
I agree, 1,000%.
So why don't you do this for me? Why don't you tell everyone that's on the Twitch, the Facebook, the YouTube, just tell them a little about yourself, give them an intro. You are a veteran, man. I grew up a long time ago seeing you at Abyss and Deco and all those places. So just let the people know, kind of about your resume, kind of real quick in a minute.
I'm your basic all-around DJ that's done it all from radio to nightclubs to house parties, where obviously it all started. And, that's about it. Made a couple records, do a lot of mashups. Still doing radio, still doing Sirius XM, and still doing the nightclubs, thank God. And that's about it. I mean, just an all-around DJ and trying to make the most out of it. So that should wrap it up in a nutshell.
Yeah, man. And for those of you listening, David, one of the most humble guys I know on the whole book, man. So, he played some of the biggest clubs. Again, I saw him coming up as a DJ. I would go see David play and watching him rock his own records, some of them that, went worldwide. And so I got to tip my hat to you just as a fellow DJ and industry person. You putting out some of those crazy records, man. We appreciate that stuff. So the theme for today, like we had talked about, was we just want to talk about basically how to be nice to the DJ 101 in the club, man. Because
God, yes, great topic.
And I think it's just super applicable for everyone. I'm gonna invite my boy Chris Lead. He's coming into the shot right now. But yeah, we just want to talk about it in general because guys like us that are playing 4, 5, 6 gigs a weekend, and we're out there all nights of the week. We see some of the craziest stuff. So we thought it'd be cool to just educate the people on just how to be respectful to the DJ when you're in or around our workspace. You know what I mean? Because that's like being in the office, right?
Yeah.
You're stepping on stage at Barcode or wherever you're playing, and that's your office, man. You're going to work for 4 hours. You got to entertain these people. So it's just mad funny because all of us experience it at in the booth at some juncture. So we thought this was a mad relevant topic just to talk to the people about. So.
Yo, what's up, David? How are you, bro?
What up, Chris? How's everything?
Living the dream.
So yeah, dude, this is just it's crazy stuff. So maybe just what are some of your pet peeves that people do just in general when you're working?
I mean, I actually put out a list on this about 100 things that annoy the DJ, and I did 25 things not to ask the DJ. And
that's awesome.
I mean, obviously the most annoying shit is, can I charge my phone in there, or do you have an iPhone charger? And, obviously that happens at least 2-3 times a night to every DJ. From others what song are you playing next? Or can you play my song because I'm leaving? People just don't understand how annoying they are when they're talking to us and that we're actually there doing a job. It's just funny to me, the stuff that some people say, you know?
Right, and it's like the level of entitlement is like you wouldn't believe.
I think people walk into a club and they think the whole club revolves around them, and they don't understand that it's like an organism of everybody there collectively, you know? And it's like, it's my birthday, or I bought this VIP, I want my song played, or I'm leaving. I think it gets to the point now where it's almost like some people will go to like Yelp and be like, you know, last night I had a problem with your DJ. He wouldn't play my request. This club sucks. You know what I mean? Like, it's getting almost to that point where it's like, where people are like, yo, what's your name? And I'll tell them a different name because I don't want to be bothered, you know? Like,
and like, it's crazy.
I'll tell them the opener's name or something, like, you know, because I know that
man.
happens.
Oh, wow.
Talk about a veteran. No, that's a veteran move, man.
That's fire.
Write that down, people.
Yeah, man, I think it's crazy too because like some of these places are like they're trying to be like restaurants during the day, and like people like people's jobs like during the day that are on the line because you leave a shitty Yelp review about their nightclub operation. Now their restaurant's going to suffer because of that. So that's like it's a pretty crappy thing that people do. I see at nightclubs a lot.
1,000%. I mean, I think it's probably almost like 65% of nightlife in the tri-state area is restaurant-based during the day, and nightlife is a bonus to them. You know, we're playing at a lot of bars and lounges as 2-3 years ago or 5 years ago, everything was a nightclub, you know, which is cool, and that's the vibe everybody's rocking with. But like you said, Chris, a bad Yelp review on a DJ, you know, that's seen by diners, and they're like, you know what, I don't know what's going on, but I didn't even know they did nightlife. I don't feel like going there. You know what I mean? Like, it just goes far, you know? So that's where we're coming out now with people being annoying with requests that they want to take it a step further, which is to each is their own, I guess.
Right. No, and I feel that we feel the pressure too from ownership on one side and then like customer service on the other, right? So I think we kind of get squished in the middle, right? And we get we get thrown out of the environment. That's just really not that fair. But one big tip that I could give people that has been driving me nuts lately, and I know you can relate to this, David, is when they like stick the phone in their phone in your face, you know, and it's just it's like right up in your grill, and you know, it's just I feel like that's like by far the most disrespectful thing you could do with people. You know, they don't even communicate. It's just like a phone pops up over the DJ booth, and it's like right in your face, man. And we get that a lot. It depends on the DJ booth setup. It depends on where you're at, you know. But you know, you play a lot of different places, and this one spot that we play up in Red Bank, and the booth is real intimate in the crowd, and we get it all the time, man. And it's just that's like a number one do not do. There's a lot of ways to like get your voice heard, I think. And like we're here being real people because we're generally nice guys. But you know, when we're working on the office, you know, and David can attest to this, is that you got to be respectful if you want to get respect back. You know, I think that's like the vibe.
I agree, and a lot of people think like, I mean, I'm not friends with like Tiesto or any of them, but like if they DJ in the booths we did, I think the people would do that to them too. Like, it doesn't matter who it is, you know. It's just people have no respect for like what's going on. Like you said, it's entitlement, and you know, I want this now, and I want it my way, and you know, it's like, and they don't care who's up there, you know.
Yeah, it's a little bit frustrating, but you know, I think there's always like you always get that one person that's really nice. They'll like write it down, you know. They'll write or they'll be like, you know, they'll ask the bouncer, can you tell him when he's free? Like that's like something I've seen before, you know, not very often to say, but just like ideas to put it out there to people because, you know, you got to respect us when we're working. And I feel like people just need that to be heard, you know?
Word. I think another point of annoying, we're talking about like, you know, DJ booths and how people annoy you. I get a lot of annoying stuff from when DJs are off and they come and hang out, and it's like, they want to talk to you for like hours. Like either I used to DJ or I sort of know them or I do know them. And it's like, bro, like if you're DJing, it's like, let the DJ work. You know what I mean? And I get that a lot. Like people hanging out and it's like, they're in your ear and it's like, bro, let me work. Like if I know you or I don't know you, a lot of times people come out and be like, yo, I used to DJ, and you try to be as nice as can. But like, it's like people just want to have a conversations. And I don't think they understand that you're truly like working, you know. And I don't think people really take it seriously, like how DJ has worked to us, and like it's not like compared to their day job or whatever. You know what I mean?
And that's a really good point. Your first point to like people that want to come hang out and network. So Yeah, like I think networking is more like come early in the set or meet me before my set or hang out after my set. But when I'm out there, when David's being David on stage, like let him do his thing. When Chris is tearing it up, like he's looking through music, he's cutting it up, he's like on the mic, he's like doing all this stuff. Like the guy's busy, leave him alone,
Yeah, and I'm not saying don't talk. I'm just saying like there's some people that come up and it's like a 10-minute conversation. And you're like, dude, I've done spun like 9 records since you've been talking to me. You could obviously, I'm not into your conversation. Like, let's talk afterwards,
That's
I
great.
think DJs know when as far as networking goes, you invite DJs out. Like, I'm the first person to introduce a DJ to every bartender, manager, booking person there, the club owner. Like,
of course.
And all DJs know, like, that happens at the end of the night or when it's not as busy. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm not talking about that aspect. I'm just talking about somebody that comes up and just wants to have a normal conversation with you. Like we're not doing shit,
Yeah, it's like walking into a pizzeria at 6 p.m. on a Friday night asking for a job. Like, what are you doing? Like, get out of here.
That's a great way to put it. Especially like those people hang around the booth, and then there's always those people that know how to like work their way in there, and you never know how they show up. You know? Like that one girl's over there dancing on a stage. Like 3 minutes later, you blink, 2 records later, bang, she's in the booth, and you're like, I don't even know you. It happens all the time, but no, it's cool. Like being like, obviously, you have logging hours and hours and days and weeks in the booth, just knowing kind of how to like control your own environment. Sometimes you gotta step up and say, hey guys, I need a space here. Let's clear it out. So like, have you been in situations where like, there's a lot of people up there, it gets a little crowded, and, how would you work that situation?
I mean, honestly, that doesn't bother me because all I need is my little space, But when it's people that are up there, like if you have your group of, you have class kills up there, like 7 or 8 people that they're not going to spill a drink, they're not going to bother the light guy, they're not going to be pissed off the customers or whatever. But then you have 2 or 3 people, either girls or guys, hanging out in there that you don't know, and it's like crowded. And you're like, how do I deal with that? I tell a bouncer like, yo, I don't know these 3 people, and do it kind of discreetly or. And they get out, and that's all it is to it, I've seen people that, Tony G was DJing one night, and this girl tipped the bouncer $100 to hang out in the booth, and she was being mad annoying, and it's like, yo, get this chick out of here. Like, I don't care what she paid, and the same bouncer that put her in, put her right out. Like, people are just, that's what goes on right now, so I let the bouncer deal with it to answer that question, I don't try to ever get involved. Like, yo, you got to leave because I don't know who I'm talking to. It might be the owner's cousin or something,
No, that's a good point, man. That's another like just golden nugget. There is you got to like play your role, right? The security is there to be security. You're there to play the music and make sure that you're like playing those channels the right way, because that could come back to bite you, man. And I think we've all been there one time or another. When that really drunk girl was spilling her drink everywhere, but it's the owner's, like you said, the owner's cousin, the owner's sister, whatever. They know someone. That's a good lead into like me, like, and Chris and I know this all the time, is like especially venues that have a lot of people involved in ownership, where everyone knows the owner, and then it's like it's just nonstop, and you feel like 100 people there, like, oh yeah, I know so and so, and it's like never ending. So it's like it's how you got to keep that professional like face, You got to just like smile and say yes, and sometimes you got to make it happen. But man, that's like the most annoying part when you have a place that has like a ton of owners and everyone knows somebody.
Everyone's someone's something.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Over and over and over.
That's funny. Like we've seen some crazy shit. Like, have you like any like standout stories or anything like you remember that happened in the booth? Like, you're
the most the craziest thing just happened to me this year. I was at Mother's, and we got a new DJ booth over there, and it's tiny. And I'm with Frankie Steele. I got him a book in there, so he came out like 2 weeks before to hang out, check it out. And like these 2 young girls like talking to him, and they keep saying, "Oh, can we go in the booth?" And I'm way past that in my career. You know what I mean? I'm all about playing music, getting my check, having a couple drinks. Yep. She was adamant about it. You know what I mean? So she's like, "Oh, I want to come up." I'm like, obviously there's no room here, and I'm good. You know what I mean? So she like walks around and reaches her hand over and grabs the SZ and like stops the record and does one of those.
Oh my God, I'm cringing.
And I'm like, you're that mad that I won't let you in the booth, and you're gonna go around and grab the record, and I'm like, what do you do in that situation? You know what I mean? Do you call a bouncer and get her kicked out?
Right.
Like, what do you do? And you just laugh, like,
That makes me cringe and gets me so worked up.
ZA probably would have punched her.
No. I'm not a violent person, but I would say.
I looked at Frankie, and we just both laughed at each other, and I was just like, you know what,
Right.
like, whatever. No one even really noticed, except for her and me, obviously, and Frankie. Like, the music stopped for a second, but it wasn't like dead silence for 30 seconds or something. But it's like where did people come off like that? Like, I don't understand how people are like this day and age, these 21-year-olds, they come out and they're like that. Like you said, we'll go back to self-entitlement, and they feel like everything revolves around them, So that was probably one of the craziest. I mean, that's happened to me before, but like not like that,
Dude, that's from someone else inflicting the damage. Yeah, I can imagine. That's definitely super frustrating. And then you made like a really good point about like we were talking about some of the song request stuff. I wanted to like just bring up like sometimes you got to actually listen to them. Some guys want to put on that hard face, but you don't know if there's like a local there that knows like, hey, like this song works really well at this place or something like that. So like I don't always take song requests as bad. I think like it's a two-part thing. It's how do they approach me and then what are they asking for?
Agreed. Now that I'm getting older in this game, a lot of the younger kids that come up, and if they ask me for a record that I don't have, and like I take it seriously. I don't sit there and download it, but I write it down and I ask them like, yo, is this record hot? Like, yo, it's crazy hot. I'm like, yo, I got you next week. If you're you come here a lot, you're a local, I got you. And that happens a lot because there's so much music out there. It's hard to keep up. But when it's like somebody that doesn't know what they're talking about, you can normally tell. They just want to hear a record that they listen to in their car a million times, and like, you can normally judge a person on what they're asking for, But now more than days than ever, I take it seriously. I write it down, and I'll download it. If somebody really asks me for something like 2-3 times a night, then I might take seriously and be like, yo, what's the Wi-Fi thing here? I need to download this song. At least play it at the end of the night. I don't have to try to mix it into my set and listen to it and see what BPM and see what I'm playing. Like, yo, I'll let it be the last song of the night.
Right.
So if it's good or bad, but if a lot of people ask for it and I'm really sleeping on something, which happens, I'll handle it that way,
Yeah, I agree with that. I see that too now. Like, there's so much music out there now. It's like it is hard to keep up, and sometimes you might just be like 2 weeks behind, and sometimes 2 weeks is too much. And you have like 2 or 3 people asking for this like hot crazy track, and you're like, yo, I haven't even heard it yet, but I'll get it for you.
Right. And there's times too that a record's hot for a week. Like, I'm sure when we get back done, everyone's going to be asking for Coronavirus by Nicki Minaj when we get back in the club, like that record that they made. Everyone's going to be asking for that, but there's songs like that are hot for some reason, either for a TikTok or something, and then it lasts for 2 weeks. So it's like, am I really going to download this and fit it into what I'm doing? Or like, that's a record I really don't need to be playing in the club,
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up too, because like yesterday, I think we were talking about like Yodel Boy. Like, ZA had like 5 different edits of Yodel Boy, and he was playing a new one every week at Porta, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, bang, Yodel Boy's gone. Like, gone off the map. Everyone forgot about him.
Yep.
That's like one of those funny things. So are you on TikTok? Like, you have an account? You browse?
No, I'm just saying, like, that's how songs are being, like, brought up now or judged, or that's how they become hot. You know what I mean?
I still haven't figured TikTok out. So if you figure it out, let me know. I'll take some pointers.
I'm too old for TikTok.
Oh, they're breaking. The tracks are hot, man. I think that's I'm getting, I would say like a lot of the younger people that I network with are, when I ask them to send me a song, they send me a TikTok link. So I find myself on the platform a little bit.
Yep.
While I'm not a user, I don't generate content there yet. I would say like don't sleep on it.
No!
Don't download it. Go figure it out. Get comfortable with it because that's where stuff's going viral, man.
I mean, it's always been social media that's making records pop right now. You know what I mean?
It's always something. It's always something new.
It's good, man. Listen, David, I appreciate it. Where can the people find your socials? What's your Instagram? Facebook.
I mean, the best thing for me is just go to my website, djdavids.com, and everything's on there. If DJs are watching, I'm still on Crooklyn Clan. Support
dope.
that. I'm still on iHeartRadio every Friday night.
Awesome.
So, you know,
That's
I
great, man. Yeah,
appreciate
so
you
check
guys.
that out.
Thanks for having me.
Check it out, DJDavidS.com. That's where you're going to find all the stuff. And again, for those of you guys that are just tuning in on the Facebook, on the YouTube channel, David S., he's cracking some awesome records out there. He's putting out awesome edits. I mean, any veteran DJ's got a bunch of DJ David S. cuts in the Serato library, man. So go check him out, see what he's got going on, support him. And dude, just awesome cutting it up with you. Just kind of just talking about just real life DJ stuff. You know what I mean?
I hear you, dude. And I appreciate you guys for taking the time to put me on. Stay safe, everybody. And let's get back to the clubs, man.
I can't wait.
You too, bro. I'll real quick shout out your All the Small Things into Pursuit of Happiness. Banger every time.
Certified.
I just put another one out where it's like a clap-a-pella intro.
Okay.
So like it bangs even harder. So I'm gonna send you that, guys.
Which I didn't think was possible.
That this week. Yeah.
I did not think it was possible, by the way. I do a lot of weddings, man, and that's like in there. That's in the playlist set. So when you move from the club to the wedding space, you really nailed it, man. So awesome edit.
Yeah, bro, man. Send it over.
I will. I'm gonna Dropbox it right now.
All right, dope. Thank you, bro.
David, thanks,
all right,
man.
Guys.
Be good, bro.
Later.
All right, so next up, we got Angelo the Kidd. This kid hails from Hoboken, New Jersey. Young talent. He's playing a lot of clubs. He's associated with the Get Down DJ group, which we're networked with. And we're going to get started in just a few minutes. So sit tight. Is that Angelo? No. Did you switch it over? No. Should I cut it?
Do you wanna blow my horn?
All right, guys. So welcome back to the Parlor. Super excited. Like I said, we are going to rock with my man Angelo the Kidd from Hoboken. Angelo, take your thing off mute there.
What's good, guys? How's it going?
Awesome, dude. So super excited to have you. To your tonight's artist spotlight. So we're just going to talk a little bit about some of the stuff we had discussed. Was just tell all the people what you're about. Let's just kind of start with an intro. What's your journey? What's your story? Where you're at now? And then, what are you getting into?
Love it. So I'm Angelo the Kidd from Garwood, New Jersey, Union County area. I grew up in the private event scene starting around 14. And ever since then, always just grew up with that music and was doing a lot of stuff. And I want to say first time I got into nightlife was when I was 19, 20 years old. And that was with a lot of promoters in the city.
Right.
And then after that, recently, I want to say around this past September, I got into the Hoboken scene with Get Down DJ Group. And I'm with them. I started interning with them and then made my way to become a official Get Down DJ. As far as that, music growing up, used to love, a lot of things, just like as far as EDM in high school and that 2012 good EDM, and then kind of carried with me. And then a lot of that emo rock stuff when I was in middle school was dope too, like My Chemical Romance and all that shit. Right. So I just kind of mixed everything up.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome, man. It's so funny you mentioned good EDM. I'm sure you and I could have like a really in-depth conversation around what good EDM is, right? Like in air quotes. So that's awesome, man. So private event guy. Now you're really tearing up the clubs. I know where are the spots that you were playing in Hoboken most recently?
Yeah, most recently. So the last gig was in Hoboken was Texas, Arizona, and Tally Ho, and that was the St. Patty's Day bar crawl, and that shit was just it was nuts the whole day. Like that was my first official like seeing it, and I was like, holy fuck! Like just it was mobbed from door to door, every single place, for the bar crawl, and it was really dope. Texas was a good time, and Tally Ho was just even better. So
Yeah, that's dope, man. And I saw like during football season, you were doing some stuff at Birch, right?
yeah, I was doing some stuff on a Sunday at Birch. That's actually where I first started. My first gig in Hoboken was Birch on a Sunday because a promoter put me on.
Awesome.
And then it was like, I didn't even get paid, honestly. This was like, I honestly didn't even get paid. And it was just to kind of get my name in there.
Yep.
And ended up paying off because the manager saw me and she actually started booking me for paid gigs. So it worked out well.
Right, and that's killer, and that's like some good feedback for some of the young cats that are on the feed right now. Just in general, like sometimes you got to take that gig or you got to take that shift to kind of just like show them what you got, sort of thing. Because
Hell yeah.
that's just how the entertainment industry sort of works, right? I think it works in both spaces, right? In the private event industry and in the club gigs, but I would say like definitely more in the club gig space, but. No, that's awesome, man. And you know, obviously looking to get right after it as soon as we kind of get everything back up and going, at least over here on the Northeast side. Just excited to keep that going. So, all right, so let's kind of keep this moving here. So tell me a little bit about, artists specifically that like inspire you, right? So like I know you've been making some edits, right? You getting there's some stuff up on DMP, some of the other record pools. I mean, I hear other people playing your stuff out. So that's really dope, man. So talk to me about like some stuff that's like inspiring you right now.
So like inspiring me, like growing up, even the past like 2-3 years, I loved A-Track, huge fan of A-Track. I want to say like I got 3 people. A-Track was like, just like seeing him, how he just like brings one song using key and pitch, like, or time it. What's the Serato plugin?
Pitch and time. Pitch and time.
Yeah. Pitch and time. And that shit's just crazy to me. Like something like I want, that's like my end goal, like not end goal, but like one of my good goals to like really get really good at that. And then another artist is Eccentric. He's a producer. He used to be part of Twerk back in the day. And now he does a lot of like hip hop remixes into like these groovy tracks. And honestly, like, or even he'll like take a alternative rock song from like 90s or 2000s and put into a hip hop track. And it just like, it turns heads at clubs. Like people will be like, what the fuck? Like they'll be like, no way. So it's really dope. Like one of my favorite artists. And then another one is just like all the DJs around me, especially Get Down, just like they kind of, before I was in the scene, they helped me, put me in like, gave me motivation to be like, oh shit, I want to be on these guys' levels. I want to work as hard as these guys. I never had like a friend group like that all have the same interest, So I think that's the best one right there. Is just like having people around me like with the same interests. It just boosts my motivation crazy.
That's awesome, Angelo. I feel like a lot of the same way too. Like I got back into the scene a few years ago, and when I did, like I had a lot of guys around me that helped motivate me to like get into it. But like quick aside here, what up? I was on the back end fixing some shit over there. But what's going on with your shirt, bro? That is like that's pretty legendary. I thought my shirt with Mickey Mouse was cool, but that's like I don't know what's going on there.
So this is actually it's Bruce Lee DJ, if you can't tell.
Oh, okay.
But this is from I'm also a huge Marvel fan. So like superheroes and all that, and this is from Marvel Age of Ultron. He's wearing it in one scene, and I like looked it up. I'm like, there's got to be a fucking shirt out there. So
right. There's a shirt for everything.
literally, like I found out. I was like, I'm copping this. Like, it's dope. It's like good, like pajama. Fuck yeah. I was like, yo, this will be dope for the interview. A little show up.
Hey.
I like it.
So yeah, this shirt's funny as fuck though. Like the shit people come up with is crazy. Literally.
Yeah, I completely agree, and it seems like the internet's getting crazier and crazier by the day. Like it's so interesting, like to just see how, in general, like things will happen in the world, and then it's like as it's happening, memes are coming out. So like how like meme culture is such like a impact on our lives, like in general. And I say our lives, like I mean people that are on their phone like heavily, right? So that's like Gen X, millennials. And even after us, just people that are on their phone so much, it's like memes are just so relevant. Like, it's incredible that, you know, how many people either tag me in them, forward memes to me, either they're DJ related, not DJ related, or just like current topics, right?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like, people come to me with like these memes, like they're Snapple facts, and I'm like, "Yo, did you even fact check that? Because that is not the news. That's a meme." Like,
Literally. And then there's like TikToks that are like going crazy right now. I know you guys were talking about it with David S too. Like you find like Spotify playlists with TikTok songs. Like, that's all helpful. Like, at the end of the day, it's fucking crazy.
Are you on TikTok right now?
I am, but like I have to use it better. Like, I have one good friend. You guys might have heard my boy Tempo, who's killing it in the TikTok game. He's got this huge following, like, just from TikTok, just from posting him mixing like for a minute, like just quick mixes, and he's killing it. I got to get into it though. I got to, you know.
Yeah, it's an interesting. It's people that like figure out the platform the fastest, right? Like, I think everyone figured out like over time that on Instagram, I feel like it's gotten figured out. Like, if you want to do well there, it's got to be like really positive, a picture of yourself. You know, you got to be smiling in it. Like, not always, but you know what I mean? It's got to be like usually like a picture of yourself, right? Like, you post a flyer, it gets 10 likes. You post a picture of yourself cheesing in the mirror, it gets 100. Like, that's just how that algorithm works. And I think like all of us are kind of like, not all of us, some of us are just on the sideline trying to figure out how to jump into the TikTok game. Because we all know someone that's like TikTok famous, right? Like, and it just seems like, there's a lot of noise over there, but it's like, how do you kind of push it to the next level? So like, I'm still at a loss of how to make TikToks.
I still can't figure it out.
I think TikTok, it can't be like something long, and you got to like catch their interest right away, you know, like, because people are scrolling through all day. You're just looking.
And like, you open it up. I can't even figure out how to turn the sound off. So like, I'm laying in bed, my girlfriend's next to me, and like all of a sudden my fucking phone's blasting because someone sent me a TikTok. I'm like, all right, get out of this shit. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing there. Like, it's like, it's whatever.
But it's a good, like, I think it's a good, like, to your point is like, you're talking about this guy playing 1 minute mixes. You know what I mean? There's guys putting out, you know, hour-long mixes, and they're getting 50 plays, and this guy's spinning for a minute, getting 100,000, 300,000.
He's killing it. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it just like, you got to pertain to what's going on right now. So like, he'll do a lot of like these. He's starting off with like in TikTok like a lot of the hip hop mashups, and then he'll like start putting up other stuff. Like, he really kills the TikTok game, and it's something I gotta work on a little bit more. But it's his shit's dope on TikTok. You got to check him out.
Yeah, dude. I think that's like a really good point because, you know, if you're not on the newest platform, you're behind, straight up.
Exactly.
I'll tell you, like, I just was talking with David S. I'll say it again for the people that are joining now, is straight up all new, like a lot of new music I'm getting is people sending me TikTok links. And that's like real life. So like, I'm kind of forced onto the platform, whether I wanted to or not. And you know, I do feel, I don't know if you ever had like a Vine, but, or if you ever remember what Vine was, but that was like the kind of, it's like a pseudo TikTok, but that was like, it reminds me, like, they have a lot of similarities, and that was like pretty lit. So I'm hoping to like kind of get more into the TikTok game and kind of take advantage of it. So, but let's get back to a little bit more about you, man. So talk to me. I know like you're really heavy on the social media, like your Instagram game's super tight. So like, maybe if you could just give like one tip out there to people that are like watching right now, like a brand tip on like how they could make their Instagram better or make their, you know, just their media better.
As far as Instagram, I mean, I think at the end of the day, you want to know who your following is too. You just want to know like who's following you, especially with like, as far as me, I have DJs following me. I have kids in college following me. I have all these different people following me. So you want to cater to all of them at the end of the day. So whether it's sending out edits or putting out mixes, they all help. They all really help. So like, once you really have a good idea of who your following is and who's following you and who's coming to see you, who's like, just target that, go for it. You know, don't go for something you want, go for something that's already following you, I believe. So.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate that. And I got to give a shout out to one of my close friends, DJ Cam. He took our advice from a branding perspective to separate his business and his personal page. And for those of you that don't know, you can take your Instagram page and you can turn it into a business page. Go look at that. That's an option for everyone. And you start to get the analytics around how your posts are doing and why they're doing well and who's looking at them, your demographics, and all that information is invaluable to anyone that's taking this DJ game seriously. Because I'll tell you, like, people are saying like, "Hey, Za, I really like the content you're putting out. I like the stuff." Chris telling people like, "Hey, Chris, we like the stuff you're putting out." Like, but that's not like me guessing. It's me seeing what does well and replicating it. Because, like you said, the people that follow me is a finite group of people, always trying to grow it. But how do you entertain your base and get your engagement up? I think that's like really important. And that's like a really good tip, is like figure out who's following you.
One of the things I wanted to I was also thinking about doing was kind of separating the private event to the nightlife. So like kind of making a separate Instagram, just because they're two different services. So your wedding services, you have couples and you're catering to them. It's not really all about you. It's more about them, catering to them and showing what you can do for them. Where nightlife is like showing what you can do, just having people come out for you and growing a following and having respect from a lot of other DJs. So that's how I look at it as far as I want to separate that, but just it's not the right time. When it gets to that time, I'll know when. But yes, I also believe I think I'll end up separating two accounts from nightlife to weddings.
Yeah, and I think that's a good strategy in general, especially like a guy like myself doing weddings. Myself, people like will stumble across my Instagram and they won't know that. They'll say, "Well, do you do weddings?" And like, of course I do, but like this is my nightlife brand, as opposed to my wedding brand. So, more like really, those are just some really good tips, and I think people should take it seriously. And listen, hop in the comments, Facebook and YouTube if you want to know more about that. Happy to give you that information. Chris and I are happy to share. Being helping DJs like yourself, Angelo, and people that are in our crew, Class Skills, Get Down guys, shout them out, and just everyone that's kind of, I just call it in our network. If anyone has any questions, just reach out to us. We're happy to help you out. I mean, it's all just like to better everyone. And, listen, obviously, like Instagram right now is like your press kit. And the better your Instagram is, like the higher rate you're going to get and the more bookings you're going to get. And it's not a direct one-to-one correlation, right? But how many times, like now, when you're in casual conversation with anyone, right, Angelo or anyone that's on the feeds right now, like, and they say, "Oh, tell me about that place, product, thing, or person," and what do? They pull out their Instagram and they pull up the page, right? And that's a quick scroll, and you're looking at 16 photos right off the bat, or you're in the story, or a hashtag or something like that. So I mean, just like put it all into perspective. Like it's a useful tool. You just gotta get your hands around it, and it's like anything else, just like the DJ craft, right, Angelo? It's the amount of hours you put into it is what you're gonna get back. So if you're like a person that's like, I don't really like to post on Instagram, well, then you shouldn't expect results in that area, right?
Exactly, yeah. And I also think like when you were going back to EPK and Instagram, I just feel like the whole EPK thing is kind of falling off, and the Instagram is kind of turning into the EPK, where I see kids like completely designing their Instagram, which with each cover art, and you scroll through their Instagram, it's literally looks like an art, like it looks like a whole poster, all their posts together. So like I love how where it's all going. It's becoming really dope, and like everyone's starting to do it more often, and it's just it's changing the game a lot, which is really cool.
Yeah, and look at like right now, just what we're experiencing. Like I'm waking up every day, I'm tagged in like 11 or 12 stories.
Exactly. This is the most I've ever gotten texts or like waking up to like reposts or something,
Yeah, and take advantage of that, because it's the multiplier effect, and everyone can just benefit from just sharing other people's stories and like keep it up all around. So, but let's keep moving a little bit more about you. We're here to spotlight you. Tell me more about like I know we were talking about what's your favorite track right now and why, like, and it can be any genre, but tell us.
Okay, so I actually stumbled upon this recently, and it's part of a certain genre that I don't know the certain genre to it, but it's like in EDM. They Rehab made a remake of Creep by Radiohead, and it just came out Friday, and it's super dope. And it's that In My Mind, the In My Mind track.
Oh, by Dinoro. In My Mind.
Yeah.
I can't sing everybody.
And like they also made a Stan remake of Not So Bad.
Fire.
So like that vibe right now is like my favorite, right? Like that vibe of EDM.
Like high energy, future house, future bass.
Yeah, and it just the whole thing around is that Future. I would put it in my heavy opener part of the in my like crates. So like I just like I don't know what to name that certain vibe, but I love that genre right now.
That's fire, man. So let's dig into that a little bit more. So you said your heavy opening crates. So talk about more about like your high level thought process on like how you organize your crates.
Yeah, so I do say like a Jersey club or Jersey bar, anything usually in Jersey. I have Future House, and it's early opener and heavy opener. And early opener has a lot of they're like simple piano tracks, a lot of stuff that girls know, like a lot of girl house remixes, like like this one, the Majestic remix of you know exactly what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
of Wannabe.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Spicy.
Yeah, spicy, and like that vibe is like early opener, and then when I get hotter, like I'll play all the Not So Bad, those kind of remixes. Castro has a fire remix, a fire edit of the Joel Corey song.
Yo, shout out Castro, one of the homies.
Yeah, shout out Castro. So like that vibe, like I would say that is like the heavy opener, like, and then I'll make my way into hip hop after the heavy opener and do some other stuff. So.
No, that's cool, man. And like I think crate organization is like super key. That we've touched on that topic almost every single episode here. But that's something that I would harp to anyone, any DJ that's on there that's following us. But that's cool. Like that's that we could like kind of dive into a little bit about what's in your head and the way you organize your music. So yeah, dude, that's killer, man. So we got your Instagram up on the. We got your Instagram up on the feed right now, so people can follow you on the gram. But where did Angelo the Kidd come from? Like, give me the backstory on that.
Angelo Kidd, it came from. It was just like growing up in the private event industry and having all these people around me. They all called me the Kid. They were like, "Yo, the Kid." I actually started at this bar in Paramus called Miller's Ale House, and I was like 17, 18 with this guy Chris Paul, and he would always bring me on and. Everyone used to call me the Kid, like, yo, the Kid's in the house, and it was dope. And like looking back now, like I used to see all these like big DJs that used to come out too just to Miller's because they lived close. So like it's just like it's cool, like just be like that kind of stuck on. And then I wanted to go with like a 90s nostalgic theme, like some kind of theme that a lot of people like, and worked with flyers a lot and just could keep the brand. So
yeah,
that's kind of how the Kid came about, and a lot of people just call me the Kid nowadays.
Damn, I lost the bet. Me and Cam, we had a bet, and we were like, I was like, it's his middle name. The Kid is his middle name. Lost that one.
Lost that bet. Dude, I think that's dope, man. It seems like it's a real organic thing, and those are the ones that tend to work the best.
Yeah.
And everyone's got that story behind the name, so that's cool. Thank you for sharing that.
Definitely, thank you.
And for the record, it is March of 2020, and you are how old?
21.
21, man. Angelo the Kidd is actually a kid. So
yeah.
For real.
So don't get old, bro.
I wish I wish I was 19. I'm not gonna lie. I wish I was still younger.
We all do.
All do.
Dude, I feel that, man. So, dude, we appreciate the time. Thank you for coming out. We got Angelo's Instagram up there on the live feed right now, so go follow him. And, dude, thank you so much for rocking with us. Angelo the Kidd tonight on the Artist Interview. Thank you for rocking with us right here, man. Thank you.
Definitely. Take care.
All right, so that wraps up this episode of Parlor. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. I know we got a bunch of people over on the Facebook. Hop over to our YouTube, youtube.com/ClassKills. Just go over there and check us out. We need people to subscribe to our channel just so we can keep it going. And we just want to let you know that myself, Chris Lead, we're going to keep this going every single day, 8 o'clock. So please tune in, head over to our YouTube, youtube.com/ClassKills. Please go subscribe to our channel. Drop a comment in there. All the information that you heard about tonight, including David S., all his information, Angelo's information, we're going to put that in the description for you guys. So feel free to watch it back. You can share the link and just keep it going. We have some really awesome interviews coming up. I'm just going to pull up my list really quick. But like I said, we have some killer talent that's going to be lining up on the show. So tomorrow night, the 24th. Really excited to have DJ Icon on and Artist Spotlight with my man Castra. Both super talented guys, and really excited to have them on. And then some other notables coming up. We got some private event stuff coming up. A wedding expert, maybe arguably one of the best wedding guys in the area, working for SCE. Jeff Scott is coming on for some industry talk. And a couple other notables as we keep going here. I want to shout out my man DQ. We're going to have him on next week. And shout out to the local homies from Freehold, RSAM, Ricky and Andrew, killer duo. We're going to have them lined up to kind of talk about some of the awesome releases that I think everyone was looking forward to hearing, and some of those IDs down in Miami. But we're going to talk about them here on the Parlor exclusive, and we're going to be sharing some of that fresh tunes from those guys. So like I said, if you're on the Facebook feed, thank you so much. Hop over to our YouTube, youtube.com/ClassKills. Go subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you guys tomorrow night. Thank you so much.